This is Three People in Your Head, a podcast about getting the best out of yourself and others. Co-hosted by John Fleming and myself, Matt Taylor. In this shorter episode, John and I reflect on what we've learned from completing the introductory series and our plans to share TA with a wider audience through further podcasts.
So, Here we are, Tana.
Yeah, reflecting on the 6 episodes so far.
Yeah.
It's not too grandiose, this, is it?
How did we get here? Yeah, it's really interesting.
It has. It has been really interesting, and I've found it so rewarding being able to do something that's more than my local community. We've been involved in our little community now for 17, 18 years where we've got the clinic, and me and my wife have both been doing therapy. But it's so nice to do something and put it out there and see all these people from different countries logging in. You know, when you look at the stats from the podcast, that's been really rewarding. I've loved that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. I think, you know, there's a couple of things where we've got some amazing strokes from both people within the TA community and outside about how they're really enjoying the content.
Yeah.
And I think that's just been really validating. You know, which is nice. We all need a bit of validation every now and again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think what's fascinating is when we decided we'd start this, neither of us knew how it was going to go, really. This could have been an absolute bomb and it's been a load of rubbish, couldn't it?
Absolutely not. I don't get involved in anything that would be a load of rubbish. Speak for yourself, man.
Well, it could have been. You know, we get 6 episodes in and I'm like, I don't want to work with this guy. But thankfully, it's been really great. There's so many things that I think I have learned so much myself. I think just from those 4 episodes we've done. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 episodes we've recorded. Yeah. I mean, we've recorded some more actually, and we've not put those out yet. But again, from those 2, I feel like I've learned loads about TA. And as a therapist and a mindfulness practitioner as well, or coach, it's informing what I'm doing constantly. Every time we record an episode, that material is going in. It's sticking.
Yeah, it does feel quite amazing, actually. I feel lucky.
Yeah.
And extremely grateful because, of course, like every time we meet one of our amazingly talented guests, it's almost like a free training, you know, and we and our listeners are all benefiting so much from that. And I feel so grateful that people are trusting us as well, you know, because there is a trust, isn't it, in what we're trying to do, which is just simply promote TA because we found it hugely impactful in a positive way.
Yeah, it's true. We were saying this earlier. One of the things that I really like about what's happened in those interviews is that often the real nuggets, the wonderful pieces of wisdom that we hear has just emerged. It came not because of any structure. And we obviously have our little bit of structure, the kinds of questions we're going to ask generally, but often it's just the someone will share something and that'll pique our interest and we'll explore a bit more. And then one of these wonderful pieces of information will come out. And that's some of the best bits of the podcast. Yeah, absolutely. I love that, the way that it just emerges.
I mean, I'm just thinking as well about how we got such a nice message from the TA community in South Africa.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you want to read that? Have you got that?
Yeah, I'm actually just looking for it now. So I'm going to try and find it. But it came in from, I think it was from Karen Pratt. Yeah, it did. And I know we were both really deeply moved by that message. It was just so lovely. She said, "Hi folks, I'm the chair of the South African TA Association, a very small group of people passionate about TA. As a TSTA in education, I am developing growing online training groups, working with trainees from India, Asia, and various places in Africa. I've promoted your podcast to my groups, and today in an executive meeting of the SATAA, we decided to write about your podcast in our upcoming newsletter. Our mission here is to spread the value of applied TA across communities, from high-powered organizations to grassroots projects in townships and everything in between. Thank you for offering this resource in such a vibrant and easily accessible way for us to use to promote TA in our beautiful country. The executive team wanted me to connect with you and tell you this." Wow.
No, that's so nice.
I'm reading again. I'm getting chills down my spine. I mean, that's a huge validation. I mean, Karen and to the executive team and SATAA, just thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
really honoured because we weren't expecting that, especially so early on. You know, maybe when we got like 5 years down the line and built an incredible reputation, but it looks like we're doing a pretty good job already, Matt.
It is nice, isn't it? Those comments, we just want to say thank you, Karen, because that kind of feedback. And I've had a few people who have contacted me through Instagram and social media, and they also have said thank you. And for anybody who has contacted me, I just want to say how much we appreciate the feedback, because without that, we just don't know how it's going or how you all feel about it. And so it does help. It helps motivate us. It helps us to continue to
absolutely
get that information out there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, we've also had some really lovely messages on Twitter, which I'm just scrolling through here now. I know that Janine Picarella, I apologize if I don't pronounce your surname right.
It's Picarella.
Is it Picarella? Yeah. She'll tell us. I know she'll listen to this. You're listening right now, Janine. You email us with an audio clip telling us how to pronounce your name. But I know you're an avid supporter of us. You're always retweeting and promoting us on Twitter. So thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. It really does. Like every time we get a notification on one of our social media channels from you, it's a stroke, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you. And I know that we have a fan as well. I think his name is Tim, Matt, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. On Instagram, he sent me a lovely message. I know he did you too.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, Tim, thank you. I know that you shared a lovely message on Twitter as well, just saying, you said, having looked for a transaction analysis podcast for ages, I'm delighted to have started on yours this morning after finding it. Thank you. I'll keep listening. TA has been very helpful. Well, I'm really glad that we filled that void for you, Tim, and that you're enjoying the content so far. And please do keep listening and sharing our content on your Twitter feed. It's really appreciated. So yeah, I don't want to read everything we've got out because that would take a very long time. So if we haven't read out a lovely message that you've sent us, it's not that we have missed you. We know they're all there. We just wanted to note a few people. I think another person here as well is from MRG Counselling and Psychotherapy. She said, terrific interview on how organisations work by John Fleming and Matt Taylor with Marianne Timmermans. If you work at any level of business, this will make so much sense. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
People are great, aren't they, Matt? Like
they are.
We haven't asked for any of this, and they're out here promoting the podcast and promoting TA, and this is the whole reason we started this.
Yes.
So it's like our dream is coming true.
It's very true. And I've just got a shout out to Ray as well. Ray, who interviewed us because he heard our podcast, and he also has started doing a little bit of training, the TA 101.
Yeah, it's Ray Campion, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Ray
his
Campion.
own podcast.
Yeah, he has a company called Campion Consultants.
That's right.
And he actually had Matt and I on his podcast to talk about TA, but also to talk about our podcast, which was just such a generous invitation from him. Really appreciate it. It'll be coming out soon. So when that gets released, we'll share that on our social media feeds as well for people to listen to if they want to. Keep sharing the podcast on your social media feeds, because we've heard through the grapevine that there is a psychiatrist who listened to our podcast. I'm not too sure if the psychiatrist is a man or a woman or where they're from, but as a result, they've signed up to the TAJ, which is a much more academic publication around TA. It's the Transactional Analysis Journal.
Yeah.
So that's also great, because we want to be promoting TA to everybody. So it's great that some mental health professionals may be tuning in as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that person is still listening, but if you are, thank you for tuning in, and it's great to have you as a listener.
Yeah. One of the things that I've really enjoyed being a student of the TA in psychotherapy is how rich it is to interview experts in the various different fields. So Giles' episode on educational, and then we've interviewed Trudy Newton as well, and that'll be coming out later. But a different perspective for me, which is really valuable. Obviously, Marianne's episode, which I know has been very popular, Marianne Timmermans. And then we've got Hanato, his episode will be coming out soonish as well. And obviously our panel, which is the next episode that will be launched on COVID. the breadth of knowledge and of wisdom, I think, that experience combined with their own capacity to use that information, it's just brilliant to be part of that and to hear people share their knowledge. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. I suppose that's actually a really good segue into sharing with you where we're going next, because when we started this out, we were like, we're going to do a podcast about TA. Great. We started, and then I think me and Matt have both had various challenges along the way, Matt, which is getting to grips with, dealing with people on email when you've never met them before and trying to build a relationship with them, dealing with sound quality over Zoom, recording the episodes. There's been multiple challenges along the way. I think we've definitely had a steep learning curve in some respects, but one that we're very much up for. And then it became apparent that we needed to have a plan. Now, I've worked in business for a long time. I can distinctively remember sitting in a trainee management training room saying, if you don't have a plan, you're not going anywhere. Well, I obviously wasn't listening because I didn't bring that with me into this project. I think I was just so excited, about getting episodes out. So now we kind of have a roadmap and a structure about where we're going to go next, because the introductory series is finished now, which has been great. So what we've done is we've created series titles, but they're not going to run, is consecutively the right word, Matt? Is that the...
think so.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to release episodes, but they may get linked to any one of the series at any time. So it's not going to run like a TV show where you have to watch it or listen to it in a particular order.
Yeah.
We created the series titles to give some structure so that you can understand where the different types of content might sit, because people might have different interests and choose to listen to more organizational focused ones or educational focused ones, etc.
Yeah. So you'll know from the title of the podcast whether this is an expert in a particular field. So if, say, the psychotherapy side didn't particularly interest you, but you're in an organizational type business and background, then you will know whether that was the right field for you. Yeah. Although I think there's a lot of overlap, but still.
Absolutely, yeah. So we might give a quick running order of the series then, Matt.
Yeah,
Will I just shout them off and,
go for it, John.
People have got an idea. So we're going to do an Eric Byrne series, which we need to talk about the guy himself. And we have lots of exciting content planned for that. We're going to do a traditions and approaches series, which will be all about some of the traditions and approaches that came from like classical TA, redecision, etc. We're going to do a special themes. So Matt alluded to that a while ago, that we're going to have a panel discussion on COVID. So there will be themes such as social justice, civil rights, all of that sort of stuff, politics maybe, where different people have different interests in applying TA or using TA as a frame for understanding something that's going on in our society. Yeah. They'll all get populated in the special themes series.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a series for each of the fields. So there'll be a counselling series, an organisational series, an educational series, and a psychotherapy series.
That's right. And we'll mix these up week by week, as in we'll have one episode will be psychotherapy, then possibly the next episode will be educational and organisational. So we're not going to do them all together at once.
Yeah.
So it'll keep you interested, you the listener.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that will be, already just those 4 episodes for me have been really fascinating. Hopefully the rest will be just as fascinating, if not more so.
100%. And if anybody has any feedback for us on the introductory series, or they have any suggestions for the new series we've just listed, then please do email us, get in touch, get involved, really is the invitation, because this is for everyone.
Yes, and we are absolutely open to aligning with what the listeners want to learn within the TA field. So, just let us know if you've got a burning passion that you want to hear experts from a particular field, and we'll approach them and let them know that you've asked. So, that will help as well. And one of the things I want to say also is we've had a lot of great feedback from the people we've emailed, and they've sent us emails back, and we're trying to figure out our schedules with many people so that we can organise this recording. Thank you to you, because you're giving your time away as well, and that is a great thing. Really.
Yeah, no, it's really appreciated. And on that note as well, if there is any TSTAs or CTAs listening, and you would like to be interviewed or have an episode, then please go on our website, and there's a button, I think, on there saying, I want to be on your podcast. Click it, send us an email, and we'll start talking.
Especially if you are beyond the boundaries of the UK and Western Europe, We are really interested in interviewing TSTAs and CTAs, so experts in the field from all over the world, because your context and your arena that you're working in, that cultural difference, it really informs what we are learning here in the UK and in Ireland and different parts of the world. And we want to recognize you and understand how TA works in your particular context. So do give us a shout, and we'd like to hear from you. We want to interview you and learn about your expertise in your particular nation and context and society.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I know this is an English-speaking podcast, but we actually already have the potential that we might be using an interpreter for an episode. We don't know whether that's going to go ahead or not. Yeah. But it's like we will find a way of working with people, you know, just that we won't let language be a barrier. Yeah. So if you know a TSTA or a CTA that doesn't speak English or would find it difficult to express themselves in English, but you feel like they'd be a really good addition to the podcast, please still do encourage them to contact us, because we might be able to find a way around that. We can use interpreters, and I think that would be wonderful to include people from diverse regions, and like Matt said, not just from Ireland or the UK.
Yeah,
because this is a global podcast.
Yes. Yes, we have grand ambitions.
I'm thinking now of Pinky and the Brain, you know, it's like, what will we do tonight, Brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. And you know, guys, we like having fun, don't we, Matt?
We do, yeah. And that's one of the things I love about it. Actually, that has been one of the best things for me. I've really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed a lot of the process. There's not much about this that I don't enjoy. I didn't think I'd enjoy editing quite as much as I do. I've really got into the details of how to...
geek has really come out, hasn't it?
Yeah, my inner geek, my inner tech nerd has come out. I'm really enjoying trying to edit it so I get out all of these little, you know, when somebody's on the internet and the internet drops out and it makes that squeaky noise. I know you still hear some, I can't get rid of all of them, but I've really enjoyed that process. I've enjoyed building the website. I've enjoyed seeing you and your organizational strengths come out as you put this process together. That's been great. I think our friendship has deepened.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got to know each other much better because people, well, I don't know if we said it in the introduction or not now because it's so long ago I can't remember, but we didn't know each other that well when we started this project. No. You know, I mean, we knew each other, but we weren't bosom buddies or anything, but we developed a thriving friendship.
Yeah, it's great.
Which has been great. Yeah.
Which, again, I knew you could talk. I mean, that was clear. That's your strength.
And I haven't even kissed.
He can communicate, but that has been a great thing. The fact that we are working really well together. So
we all have the gift of the gab in Ireland. You see, you have to come over and kiss the Blarney Stone, man.
If that'll help me, I'll do it. Help me communication.
You don't need any help. One other thing I wanted to mention, actually, just because you mentioned a while ago around quality, we have had a number of people commend us on the quality of the production, which I really want to just take a moment and say that is all down to Matt Taylor. He is doing a phenomenal job under what sometimes is very difficult, you know, because, you know, this is also kind of a hobby for us as opposed to our main work, you know, so we're doing this as an above what we do Monday to Friday. And Matt is doing an incredible job of editing the podcast, and a few people, I can think of one person, Graham Summers, who phoned me about potentially coming on the podcast. So fingers crossed we get Graham on because we'd love to have him. If you're listening, Graham, nudge, nudge. Yeah, he said that he thought it was really well produced, and I just was like delighted to hear that because we do want to put out quality content and well-produced content. Matt's doing a phenomenal job on that.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I really enjoy the ones that are well produced. And I started listening to more actually after we decided to do this. So How We Built This, I think, is one of my favorite ones about how businesses were started and then built into great successes. I just love the style. I'm going to forward this to them. Love their style, the music and the way they start off, the opening, all that sort of stuff. I thought, that's how we want to do it. And we have such great material to work with anyway. So
absolutely.
Makes it easy.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up. You know what our plans are now. We'll stick out a graphic somewhere that shows the series so that you can see them again, because appreciate we've just rattled them off there, but we will stick out a graphic at some point that lists the series. Like I say, they're not going to be released in an order that you have to listen to them in. They'll just get released when and as they occur, but get linked to a series title so that you can understand what kind of field or series they fit into. So we will release a graphic. That's where we're going. It's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And please keep listening, keep engaging.
And keep sending us feedback. If there's material you want on the podcast, let us know. If there's material you want on the website to help explain some of the theory and some of these words that we use that aren't common vernacular, like TSTA and CTA and some of the terminology, let us know. We'll make sure it gets up there just to help.
Excellent. Well, watch this space because there's some really exciting episodes coming in the next week or so.
Yeah, some brilliant material about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Great. Thanks for listening,
folks. Bye.
As always, if you found anything in today's episode interesting, please feel free to reach out. You can visit our website, which has lots of information and TA resources, at transactionalanalysispodcast.com. You can connect with us on all major platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and you can email us at 3peopleinyourhead@gmail.com using the number 3 rather than the word. If you aren't already, please follow us on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and we'd be really grateful if you could leave a review. Thanks for listening.
Pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other's insane.
Yeah, I'll be. Which one am I wonder? I'll be the genius.
We can. So I'm insane, is it?
Well, you might just be a little more than me.
Oh, God. Yeah.